Welcome to the Savvy Property Investors Podcast, a weekly show that delivers the best hard-hitting property industry news, business advice, and talks that will get you ascending in the real estate industry. Now, here's your host, the amazing award-winning property and business coach, best-selling author, and serial entrepreneur, Miss Sapphire Gray.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another The Savvy Property Investors Show. This is a show for newbie and seasoned property investors, coaches, consultants, and trainers who want to become savvy investors and build a legacy for you and your loved ones. My name is Sapphire Gray, and I'm going to be your host for today. Every week, we bring you different episodes talking about property investments and various business topics on how to grow as an expert in your business. Sometimes we interview clients so you can learn from them, and we also bring in expert speakers, which we have tonight, from the property or business world. Today, we are going to be talking about never allowing the size of your pockets to stop your dreams. But before I introduce our guests, I want to remind you about a couple of things. If you are new to our podcast, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And so you don't miss out on any of the episodes. And you can also go back and look on previous shows that we have done as well. If you haven't already downloaded the Property Investors Toolkit, make sure you do that now. You know that following the footsteps of someone that has already created wealth through property and business is the way to learn, and how you can do this for yourself. Maybe you've been struggling to know what strategies you want to deal with, or struggling with finding the properties to purchase. Whatever your issues is, there's something that you can do about it, and that's why we created the Property Investors Toolkit. Go ahead and look at the link below and check it out. It's only £39. You can find this link on the Savvy Women website, that's savvywomen.co.uk. If you also scroll down in the show notes, you can find the link there on any of our social media platforms and in our YouTube feed as well. It is now time to introduce our guests. Today we're introducing Dr. Zina. Let's see, I knew I was going to mess up on your surname. I'm so apology. Please say your surname. I'm so sorry about this.
No, not a problem. Dr. Zina Arinze.
Arinze. All right.
Yes.
That's my dyslexic coming out, people.
Not a problem.
And I suffer with that. All right. I won't get it wrong again. Dr. Zina Arinze, fondly known as the Reinvention Queen, is larger than life and bubbly, a multi-award winning international transformational speaker, lawyer, best-selling author, and international gender empowerment strategist, radio broadcaster, a reinvention coach, successfully serial entrepreneur, and the founder of Believe and Live Again, divorce recovery coach and mentoring. A service dedicated to helping women of faith and female professionals swiftly moving from we to me and heal from the pain of divorce so that they can regain their positive sense of self to reinvent themselves and rediscover those hidden talents. Don't we all need that? Looking after their finances also to create a sustainable wealth and relearn how to find and build lasting positive relationships with themselves and others. Dr. Zina's accomplishments to date are a plethora of accomplishments. I am so honored to have her here. She's the CEO of the Reinvent You experience for personal effectiveness and transformation, which focuses on helping women who are disillusioned and unfulfilled and get stuck to create profitable legacies after a traumatic life transition. Crystal Jade Project Management Consultancy, Coaching and Training, delivery of powerful techniques and technology, bespoke solutions to project teams, small businesses, community groups, and individuals. She's also a fellow and active member of the Institute of Enterprise and Entrepreneurs. Dr. Zina sits on several boards and panels, providing an astute leadership to build schools, SMEs, non-for-profit and individuals. She also has the Reinvent You After Abuse Foundation, a charity and women-led organization for financial professionals and experts passionate about ending stigma and trauma of domestic violence through financial education. She is also the chair of the PAL African UK and international NGO focused on empowering African women and young girls in diaspora impact by trauma, including GBV, racism, modern slavery, political and emotional effects of the COVID-19. However, in her own words, my biggest accolade to date is being the world's #1 mum to 2 amazing young adult daughters. And I must say at this point, I've also adopted her daughters as well. Princess #1 and 2. Dr. Zina lives in London with her 2 young adult daughters and her 84-year-old mother. I am so proud of you on all your achievements. When I went through your bio, I was like, yes, 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 because there's so much things in here that has not only that I can resonate with, especially divorce and being in a domestic violence situations myself. So it just resonated with me, and that there's a woman out there that is in championing it and really trying to break down those barriers to help women out there. So I really applaud you for that and salute you for that. So I am your host, and let's get started, Zina. Thank you for joining us today. It's such an honor and pleasure.
Thank you so much, savvy woman. Thank you so much, Sophia. From now on, I'm going to be calling you SS. SS, savvy, no, SWS, savvy woman Sophia.
Oh, brilliant.
Sophia is brilliant. It's a precious stone, and you're savvy, and it's such an honor to be on this show. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
So let's just jump in here, because I know you've done a plethora and still doing. You're very, very active in what you're doing, and you're a very busy person as well. So when you say never allowing the size of your pocket to stop your dreams, that's our topic today. What do you mean by this?
What I mean by this is that, and thank you for the question. We just have an X amount of time on earth, and it's not guaranteed. Some of us might have 80 years, some of us might have 100 years, some of us might have 96 years, like the Queen. We don't know how long we're going to have. Some, will have 31, like poor, someone that died recently. We never know how long we're going to have. And so when we look at the size of our pocket, what it will do is that if your pocket is not as heavy as you want it to be, or as you think it needs to be to go for that dream, you're just not going to go for it, because you're going to keep waiting for, it's just like for people that are looking for children. Some people will say, well, I'm not ready for children right now because I can't afford it. And so they're waiting for that big business or that fantastic job. And then before they know it, it's too late.
Yeah.
And so opportunity is now. I always talk to my clients, and I talk about the speed of implementation. If you keep doing what you're doing excellently, the money will come.
Absolutely.
Either one client, either a funding, it could be a funder, an investor, or it could be the same passion that you're using in your business, or in your passion, you're using it in your 9 to 5. If you have a 9 to 5, if you have the discipline that you need for that dream, for that passion, everything else will follow. But if you wait for the money, you could be waiting until you're blue in the face.
Absolutely. And they say most dreams are go to the graveyard of people, and that is why, because people don't want to take action. They never take the action when it's needed. And I think most people are just risk averse and not really willing to take a chance on themselves. And I always say to people, take a chance on yourself. What's the worst that can happen? You fell, then you wipe off, and then you start again.
Absolutely.
So why would you say money is a byproduct of achieving your dreams?
And this is another thing, and it's really important for our community in particular, because in our community, you find that we are really impressed with the dollar sign or the pound sign, the euro. It doesn't matter what the sign is. you know, and then we wear it on our body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we wear it on our body. You have no investments, no stocks, no shares, no property, but you wear it on your body.
Mm-hmm.
And that can leave any second. You could, okay, I'll give a good example. Let's use Trump. Okay, Trump is a very, 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 very incredibly rich man. And it doesn't matter whether you like him or not, you know, what the politics is, but he's an incredibly rich man. He has been sued untold times and he's lost a whole lot of money. He's been bankrupt so much times, you know, but if your passion remains, the money is the byproduct. So if you do well in your passion and you do well in your business, whatever it is that you want to do, you do well in your dreams, that money can always leave.
Yeah.
You know, you can have an accident, you know, and you might not be able to, your earning power reduces or dwindles completely. It doesn't take away the passion. It doesn't take away the dream.
Yeah.
You know, but if your dream goes, if you're unable to dream, if you're unable to, you know, go beyond your fear, if you're unable to take risks and fail, so you can fall down 10 times, it doesn't matter. But if you're unable to take those risks, you know, the money's there.
It doesn't. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, if you are Richard Branson, okay, put it this way. Another good example. What's his name? The guy. Oh, I've forgotten his name. The guy, a fantastic actor. That the whole family are full of actors. White guy. They were filming Baldwin, one of the Baldwins. They were filming something, and he was supposed to shoot, and he shot, and the lady died.
Oh. Okay.
You know, the lady died, you know, there was a mistake in the gun or something. People are suing him left, right, and center. You know, obviously he's going to defend it, but what's happening is that he's being sued. He has to pay money to his lawyers. So all that money, and he's a famous actor. Yeah. So that money can go, but it doesn't take away the fact that he's an actor. The gift is still there.
Absolutely.
If he loses everything that he has, he can still start again because he has the gift. But if you lose your gift, if you lose your passion, if you lose your dream, it's gone. So
I even use that in the, I even use that in the sense when people say someone's taking my idea, and I say let them take it. It's not, they've not taken you. They can't do what you was going to do with that idea. They can only reinvent what they were going to do.
Absolutely.
But they can't take it away. And that is the difference. When you're looking at yourself, you have to look at who are you as an individual? What can you bring? And it's not about possessions. Yes, our community wears our golds and all are dripping in designer wear, and not looking at those are possessions. Those are things that you can lose easily. But creating something, creating a business, creating wealth through property or business or work, those ideas, who you are, your intellect cannot be taken away from you.
Absolutely.
So what do you need to adopt to support your dreams? What do you need to really change in yourself to support your dreams?
First thing first is that you need self-belief. You need self-belief, and then you need a good support network. Yes. And I'm not talking about your mom, your sister, I mean all that. I mean they're there anyway, but you need people that believe in you, that because there will be days when you will cry, you will fall down, you're not going to want to do it anymore. There'll be lots of times, and people don't see that, so that's behind closed doors. And, you know, you're not going to want. So for instance, I've got this massive bio of all these amazing things that I do, but there are many times when I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. Or it's not working the way I want it, or it's not going at the speed, you know. And you need to make sure that you have the right people in your corner that will give you the kick.
Yes.
Especially if you're the person that gives the kick. Like I'm someone that gives the kick to most people. So you need to make sure that you have the right people that can speak to you in a language that you understand and give you that kick. And it depends on the kind of person. You might be a soft person. So you don't always need a hard person, but you need to have the right people in your corner that can minister to you when you are down. You know, that can hold your, you know, it's so important. You can't do this journey alone, whether it's motherhood, whether it's business, whether it's 9 to 5, whether it's being a single woman, whether it's being a property investor, whatever it is that you want to do or you're doing right now, you can't do it alone. So number one, self-belief. Number two, a fantastic support network that will give you a kick when you're down, and also give you a kick when you're getting a bit above yourself. You know, bring you down a little bit, you know.
Absolutely. That is so true, because even I always say, like, we all need a coach. You can be a coach, but we all need a coach. It's like a footballer.
Absolutely.
A footballer's earning more than the coach is, but yet he would listen to the coach because the direction the coach is giving is supporting his dreams or her dreams and allowing it to then move forward. So yeah, I'm a person that needs someone that is militant. I mean, I know you've given me advice.
Yes.
I know you've kicked my ass.
Yes, and vice versa. Vice versa, you know. I mean, people don't know this. I'm a crier. And so when I start to cry, you know, I have people like Sophia and some other people also that come on, can you stop it? Can you go? But you don't understand. And I'm like, sorry. You actually know who you are. You are a world and you're doing this, you know. So it's really important. You know, another thing that you need to have is resilience.
Yes.
Because you're going to have doors shut in your face.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you that it's so lovely at the top. And I'm not at the top yet. I'm still climbing. Yeah. So another thing, don't think that you've arrived.
No, never.
Don't think, you know, there's always something better to do. Absolutely. You know, and there are people that you need to ensure that the people in your circle, it's good to have people like you, but you also need to have people that are above you.
That's right.
That are in your circle that you want to be like. They will tell you the mistakes they've made, but they'll also, you know, make a way in for you across the threshold. It's important. Don't feel, I don't want to be mixing with them. You know, no, you need to make yourself attractive so that they will want to mix with you.
Absolutely.
And also believe that you have something of value to offer. This is not about looking down on yourself. You have something of value to offer. And when people see that, they would want to speak to you. It doesn't matter what level they're at. They would want to do business with you or interact with you or help you up. Yes. You know, it's really, really important. Coming back to that resilience, you will have the door shut in your face. There will be people that you think will help you and they don't. Or you might have this massive idea that you think is the right thing you've done. You've worked 2 years on this thing, on the quiet. Nobody knows. You've worked on the quiet. You've burnt the midnight oil. And just when you think you want to set it up and then it falls to pieces, or you lose funding or whatever it is, or you go to the bank for a loan and they say no, or someone like Sophia, you've mentioned, takes your idea. Maybe you have someone on the team, you know, and they take your idea and they run with it. Talking about that, another thing you need to be in business, in fact, Sophia is really big on this, have your procedures in place.
There you go.
Procedures in place. Have your contracts in place. There is no business with your friend, sister. No. Have it in place. Decide what the profit shares are. It's a painful conversation with people you're close with, but it has to be done because when the success comes, that sister, that friend, that mom, you guys will find them be chucking, you know, all of us. You know, and so it's important that you have procedures in place. You have clarity in terms of how we do stuff. It's better to do it now. It's painful, but it's better to do it now because it makes everything easier when you start moving forward. So, number 1, self-belief. Number 2, resilience. Number 3, have a good support network around yourself. Number 4, have someone, you know, make sure that, you know, you have people that can bring you down to size when you need to. Number 5, bat above your station. Don't be embarrassed. Bat above your station, you know, and the right people will, you know, some people like that kind of courage.
Absolutely.
You know, and they like that. And, you know, also when rejection comes, be resilient. You fall back and, you know, regroup and move forward. And then don't be, I know we like in the Black community, we like to say stoosh. Don't be too stoosh. Don't, you know, don't believe your hype. You know, you
don't be bougie. Don't be bougie.
Absolutely. You know, you will meet people that will be giving you, you know, I mean, I read something yesterday on TikTok that really made me laugh. And it's so funny how, you know, we are older women, but it's like history repeats itself. So a younger, you know, a 20-year-old was just complaining and she was saying, she's doing very, very well. And I follow her. And she was saying, that she doesn't like the situation where here I am sort of saying, I like what you're doing. So let's say you and I, Sophia, I like what you're doing. So I put a message on TikTok or on Facebook or Instagram. Well done. That's really, really great. You know, and rather than you acknowledging me because we have a relationship outside, rather than you're like, you know, you ignore me, and then you're like, yeah, thank you so much for all of you that have been DMing me and wanting to know how I do it. You know, you know. I read that. I laughed, and obviously we do that as well in a different way. But so basically, what you're doing is that you're trying to you're belittling people, trying to push yourself up, and that's fine, but don't belittle the people that are holding you up.
That's
it's
right.
really, really important. Don't bite the finger that feeds you, because that finger will not feed you again. And trust me, many times you're going up, you will fall down. This is not me cursing you. This is not me saying, biting in the night or anything like that. I'm telling you, you will fail.
Absolutely true.
Lots of times.
And I always say about transparency, I'm always about, if I'm broke, I'm broke. I'd always say, this is where I'm at right now. This is, if I'm good, I'm good. We're celebrating together. I will always celebrate people. I'd always show people I'm there. I always call myself the cheerleader, the invisible cheerleader. No matter what you're doing in life, I want the pom-poms out. I'm going to be cheering you on and supporting you. So anytime I see something, I try to, well done, congratulations. I'm trying to champion everybody and saying, you know what, I believe in you. Because when you have somebody in that background believing in you, it doesn't matter. That's your support network now.
Absolutely.
And when you get to that level where you're thinking that you're above, do not do that either. Make sure your feet are remaining on the floor. Because believe me, when you crash, you want the same people that are there to catch you, that were at the bottom with you, to catch you. So remember where your placing is. And remember that at the end of the day, in life, when you build up resilience, accepting the word no is the key to success. Accepting the word no is the key to your success, because you'll get 1,000 no's and one yes. And it's that one yes.
One yes. Just takes one.
Does. And that will just spark everything. But you have to keep on going. And no matter where you are in your business, there's no shame in, you got a zero bank account. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in, you ain't got no clients for now. You're doing the work in order for that to happen. Just don't give up because you're not seeing it now. Keep on going through what you need to achieve where you're going,
Yeah. I like that, don't feel that whatever you're doing is for nothing.
Yes.
Because you haven't seen the results. It's the preparation that you're doing now. So you're making your preparation. It's just like you make a cake. The cake don't just come out.
No.
Or let's say the cake is even easy. Let's say you're making bread. You need the bread. You got to put the yeast. You got to do this. It's got to rise.
And you got to allow it to rise, and that's the thing that takes hours.
Absolutely.
So you got to allow. It's the same like with the business. You've got to allow it to just come into itself. Allow it to ferment and make sure that it's going in the direction.
Absolutely. And talking about direction, don't be too. And I guess many of us do, because I do this when I'm driving. If my children were listening right now, they'll be laughing, because when I'm driving, I don't go back. I don't care if, I just keep going forward. But you can't be doing that in your business. If it's not working, be humble enough to yourself, tell yourself the truth, and take a detour or start again from scratch. Don't.
Over my career in business, I've been in business over 30 odd years, and the amount of pivots I've made within my business, the amount of changes I've made, because if it weren't working, why am I still keep on doing that? That's a headache. I've given it a go. I've not just given it a go for months. It's probably been years, and it's just not working for me. It's not working for the current market. It's not working for the current audience. So when you recognize that change, every business goes through a change to make sure that they're facilitating to the clients of today, not the clients of yesterday. It's like when computers come out, we had the secretaries with the typewriters. They didn't want to change. They didn't want to use the computer. So what happened? They're redundant.
Yes.
They're no longer needed. But if you ask those secretaries, if you had the opportunity to go back and make that change, would you do it? They'll absolutely say yes. We was being silly. Change is inevitable in anything, in any way we look at it in life, and we've just got to keep on doing it.
Yes.
So what do you need? What kind of skills would you say you need to have? We spoke so much different things, but there must be a skill set that you need to have for your dreams.
I think number one, you need to have an inquiring mind. You need, don't just leave the dream there. Have the dream and then inquire. What does that mean? Investigate the dream, research the dream, write it down, record it. Don't just leave it in your head. Don't just dream, then it just stays as a dream. In fact, if you leave it, it'll become a nightmare. So, write the dream down, record it. If you can't write, record. We've got fantastic phones. Record it on your phone. Most phones, Android as well as iPhones, they all have the note function. Be your best friend with your note function. It don't matter how you write, as long as you can read it. You're the only one that needs to read it. Write your dream down, because the dream might be, I want to build a river house in Hawaii. That's your dream. I've always wanted to do that since I was a little girl. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Write it down.
It's funny you say that, because my dream from a little girl has been to build my house.
Oh.
And I wrote it down. I've got all the pictures. I could tell you the design. All of mine is designed already. And literally today, I had a meet with a land estate agent, and he's sourcing the land now for me to do that. So again, it has been a childhood dream for me, but I've not left it as just in my head. I've put it on paper. I've represented it, done the plans already without even finding the land yet. But that's how I'm implementing my dream, because I know it's going to happen. And now the reality is there, and I'm a few weeks away from finding my land.
And that's fantastic, because what it means is that, there's a scripture that says, write the vision. So you write it down. So you got that dream, write it down, because it's only when you write it down, it becomes a reality. And, there's so many tools, vision boards, it's why you've already talked about that in terms of, you have pictures. Those pictures, you could take a picture of your dream house, or your dream shoe, your dream design, whatever it is that, that dream is. Put it in your diary, put it on the wall, because every time you see it, you're moving. So it doesn't seem as if it's so far away, because sometimes our dreams feel so big, and it's good to dream big. Please dream big.
Yeah.
Don't dream that you want to buy a car.
Yeah.
because you're on a bus. That's a nonsense dream. Don't dream that you want to buy a car. Whoever's listening, don't dream you want to buy a car. Have a big, dream dreams that scare you, audacious dreams.
Yeah, that gives you heart palpitations. That's what I say.
Absolutely. Or so audacious that you're like, how's this going to happen? Things that that you can't do by yourself.
Yeah.
Write them down. And also another skill you need to have, apart from, having that inquiring, investigative kind of mind to do the research. Another skill you need to have is the ability to ask questions.
Oh, that's a key one.
Ask questions. No question is a silly question. Just ask questions, because what you're doing is that you're gathering information. So don't be afraid to look stupid, because just remember why you're doing it. You're doing it because you're feeling your dream. No one needs to know why you're asking them.
True.
No one needs to know. You don't owe anyone any obligation to tell them what your dream is.
True.
You just need to ask questions. Sometimes you can ask a question and you find that it's a silly question, so you now know that's the wrong question. So someone might say, I want to, build my dream home in Hawaii. And someone might say, why Hawaii? You do know that Hawaii is an island, and you probably haven't thought about that. Okay. So if you build a house in an island, you need to get some sort of, regulatory policy law that's building house on the water. You haven't thought about that. So, so the more you ask questions, the more you find out things that you haven't thought about. So don't be ashamed or embarrassed to ask questions. Have an inquiry, have a question in mind. And also, have boundaries. And I need to, while I'm talking about this, is really, really big on my heart in terms of boundaries. Ask questions, invite people into your space, but invite the right people. The people that you dance and eat and smoke or drink or whatever it is that you do are not the same people that you should be discussing your dreams with.
Yeah.
Because those
are dream killers. There's people out there that will totally tell you why you do that. It's silly. It doesn't,
why you think, so really make sure that you have the right, have people that think the way that you think. And if they don't think the way that you think, at least they think the way that you want to think.
Absolutely.
So it's either they think like you think, Sometimes you will outgrow those ones, and then you go to the people that think the way that you need to be thinking. It's really, really important. Another skill that you need to have is the ability to persuade, because you need to have people on your side, on your team. And so you need to believe in, so number one, you need to believe in the dream.
Yeah. Be passionate about it. Yeah.
And then you need to be able to negotiate and persuade other people. This is not in terms of money yet. This is in terms of having people to run with that dream.
Okay.
You know, because you're going to have different people doing different, but they need to believe in that dream with you. They're not in there because they're looking for a job, or they're there, but they need to run with that dream so much so that when you are losing it a little bit, they're still going.
Absolutely.
It's really, really important, you know. And then there was something I was going to say that's just come out of my head. Rejection, self-belief, skills, what else? There was something that's just, no. When it comes back to it, there was something that's really, really, really important that I wanted to, and I was thinking about it while I was speaking, and it's gone. But at least for now, have an inquiring mind, a questioning mind, you know, have the right people around you, believe in your dream, believe in it, live your dream, eat your dream, sleep your dream, you know. And when you dream your dream and live your dream and eat your dream, even if someone takes that idea, like Sophia said earlier on, they can never do it the way that you do it.
No, absolutely not.
You know,
absolutely not.
Can never, ever, ever. Oh God, there was
But you have to, when you're looking at your dreams and the skill sets that you need, you also have to adapt and believe in yourself. So always look internally at who you are as an individual and what you can take on board, because some people have generational sort of like trauma, and it's to let go of that trauma and let go of the people that were negative in your life back then and say, hey, this is me now, and have those blinkers on. It's about you. And as you've been saying, surround yourself with the right people. Find peers, people that are in the same industry even, that want to champion you, that want to support you. I have so many people in the property space, in the business space. We're probably doing similar things, if not dead on the same things, but we're both different. We teach different, and yet we learn from one another. I go to so many seminars, I go to so many workshops, and I'm still learning. My skills has always been sharpened. It's like you wouldn't have a knife trying to cut a soft tomato if it's not sharp. So always sharpen your skills. Always make sure that you're on point with what you're doing. Yeah, you have to be relevant, or you'll be a dinosaur. And if you're a dinosaur, no one wants to know. And be present. That's another thing that you need to do. Is get over your shyness and be present, and learn how to really showcase who you are authentically. Don't be a fake, just be authentic in what you're doing.
You know, that being present is really important in terms of you have to believe in your dream first.
Yes.
You know, don't expect, they're not believing in my, no, you need to believe in your dream. You need to believe in your dream. Now, even if there's no one with you.
Yeah.
You know, so when people fall by the wayside or they're no longer with you, you still need to be able to champion. So you need to be your own champion.
That's right.
You know, you need to be, you know, long before, you know, I was all over social media. I don't do as much as I used to because, you know, people say, you know, I'm a walking publicity for what I do.
Yes, absolutely.
So you need to believe in what you do inside out. And then you also need to understand that it's not always about what people see.
Yes.
Because, you know, the optics might look fantastic, but behind, I would prefer, and this is my advice to you, listener, that I would prefer that what the optics behind the scenes are brilliant than having the optics up front looking fantastic. I prefer that you're doing the work underground, you're doing what you need to do, you're crafting, honing your skills, you're having that spirit of excellence, you know, you're doing so that when someone comes your way, you're ready.
Yes.
You know, social media is fantastic. I love social media, so I'm not one of those dinosaurs. I love it. I use it a lot, not as much as I used to. I don't need to. But having said that, it's important to don't get so carried away that you need to look a certain way You need your business or your service or your job or whatever it is that you're, to look a certain way, whereas behind the scenes, there's nothing.
Absolutely.
I
mean, I've been known to invite clients over because I want to be transparent. I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm just a transparent person. And I think, you know where I live. You know, you can see what I do. I tell you how I live. You know, I still want bargains. I still want all these things. It's not where I position myself. So it's like, it's always about honing in on yourself. First, look internal and then address your external. How are you presenting yourself? How do you want to present yourself? And showing people what you're really about, but and I'm going to keep on using this word, in an authentic way. Be true to yourself. Absolutely. Because that's what will shine out to other people as well.
Absolutely. And then also, don't be all things, because figure out your strengths and your weaknesses and be true to yourself. We all have weaknesses. I know I have 1 million weaknesses.
Same.
And so, the weaknesses that will not serve your dream, your vision, your passion, your business, whatever, farm it out, outsource it.
True.
There's no need you sitting, and I get this. So hear my heart. I get, maybe you could be at the beginning of your business or your dream, or maybe you're midway and it's not moving the way and money is a bit tight. I get that. I've been in that situation so many times, uncountable times. So I get that. So I'm not trying to say, look at me, I'm all there. No. But what I am saying is that when it is the most comfortable for you, outsource some of the things that you do, especially the things that don't come naturally to you.
That's right.
Because even though you might be saving money, you are spending so much time which cannot be quantified, and you cannot redeem that time. So you are staying up until 4 o'clock. I've done it loads of times, so I'm talking from experience. 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to fix something on your website, trying to do this, trying to do that. Maybe then you're like me. I have an inquiring mind, so I'm probably better than many people. But I'll be spending time on various forums trying to figure out how to fix this particular thing. So I'm, spending 3 hours when I could just have given it to someone. Pay them a little money. You can you don't have to pay. You can look for someone, pay them a little, and they'll do it. And if they do a good job, you keep them on your books.
Absolutely. I always say you're not to wear all the hats. Don't wear all the hats. Respect your own time and your health, because it can be detrimental to your health as well. Absolutely. So if you've not got that skill set, farm it out, as you said. So I want us to take a break now so we can pay our sponsors, or we're getting paid by our sponsors. So join us after the break with more insights with Dr. Zina.
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button below. Our podcast is only made possible by great listeners like you.
Thank you so much for that first half of the show. I mean, I love the way the conversation's going. I love what you're saying. It just rings true with me. And I'm sure our listeners and viewers are saying, wow, you're very insightful in what you're saying. One of the questions is, though, we all know money can be taken away in a heartbeat. How do you hold on to what you have while making more?
That is a very, very good question. I should actually ask you that question, but it's a very, very good. I mean, look, for me, it's really important, to have investments. It really, it's all about, like we said, before, during the first segment before the break, that many of us tend to wear our money. If you needed to, look, like we've had COVID and all that, and if you needed to convert money quickly to do stuff, you can't convert your Charles Tyrrell shirt, your Louis Vuitton bags, thousands of bags. You can't convert that easily to money. You can't.
Unless it's vintage. Let me cut in there. Unless it's a vintage bag.
Like
that's the only way.
But how many of us have the vintage?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless it's vintage. Well, that is unless it's vintage. But if it's vintage, you shouldn't be selling it. You should keep it and give it to your children. You know, but
Very
you know,
true.
you know, invest. Think about the legacy. Let's think about generational wealth. Let's start building our communities. I know we've started, but let's continue to build our communities so that wealth transfers from daughter to son to mother to grand.
Absolutely.
You know, and so you know, and so that's one of the things we need to do. We need to be thinking about how we can invest. So there are so many things: stocks, shares, property. You know, and if you don't have enough money, you can start very small. But it's about being consistent. It's about being consistent. Now, people say savings. I'm not too big on savings per se, you know, because it's just sitting down there doing something. You know, you need to make your money work for you.
Absolutely.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with working. There's nothing wrong with working. You know, don't, you know, for some of you might be listening and you'll be thinking, oh, I want to go in business or I'm in business. And everyone that I know that is in business and they're not working, they're lying. They're lying to you. They're lying from the pit of hell. They are lying. Look at my eyes. They are, you know, it doesn't matter what you do. You could be working in Tesco's 1 day a week.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do. You could be, you know, doing an Uber. I don't know. You know, you could be doing Amazon. You could be doing Amazon and buying pallets and resell. I don't care what you're doing, but just know that money is money.
Absolutely.
You know,
I mean, I've got a big. I've got a speaker coming on who is still employed, but has a massive portfolio of properties, and he's a doctor. You know, and it's those kind of things when you're looking at money, try to invest it in something that's going to give you a return. And you're not looking for short-term returns. You're looking to build it out so that your legacy, your retirement is going to be sitting on, and you've got a little luxury. You know, you're heading towards a bit of luxury in that retirement thing. I'm a big on saving. I wasn't always big on saving. I always call myself the plastic spoon lady because I weren't born with the silver spoon in my mouth. You know, I grew up and we were at a disadvantage being poor, but not poor in my mum's eyes. In my mum's eyes, we had enough. We had food, we was clothed, we had shelter. And that's how I've grown up. My mum always gave us a lesson. Always make sure that you cover your household bills, you have a roof over your head, and you've got food in the cupboards. And there's one, and she always said dry products. You've got your flour, you've got your rice, you've got your corned beef. You can eat.
You can eat. Absolutely.
You know, and it's always those little things that keeps me grounded, that keeps me in the knowledge that it doesn't matter. Yes, money can be taken away, but if I've just got those, if I've got food, if I've got a roof over my head, my bills are being paid, I'm good. I can sit down until I can replenish those finances. But investing is what came to me a long time ago to know when you start looking at how to build out your business, but also making money and not making that sacrifice, is to invest in different things. Yes, we know today the stock markets, crypto, everything is crashed today. I'm gutted about that because of what's going on in the world. We cannot predict. We cannot predict what's happening in the world, but we can predict what's happening up here. In our heads, in our minds, we know what's happening. So have your A to Z, not your A to B, A to Z planned. If this happens, what do I do next? Once you have that kind of mindset, you will always be able to deal with whatever comes at you. Because you'll just pivot, you'll just move and according to what's happening around you.
Absolutely. So, you know, so it's important to have an investment mindset.
True.
Rather than having you know, many of us have and I like to say us, you know, many of us have a consumer mindset. So you're just consuming. Why can't somebody consume what you're creating?
Yes.
Create so someone else can consume. Create and invest. Create and invest. And you know, you're completely correct, Sophia. You know that yes, today it could be Bitcoin, it could be blockchain, it could be stocks, it could be shares, it could be gold, it could be whatever, you know. But as long as you have an investment mindset, you will find the next best thing where to put your money. And then also in today's world, you need to have a strong heart. You can't just, be taking out your money now. No, you need to figure out, you need to be able to figure out, do I take out my money? Do I not? But what you don't want to do is you don't want to take out your money and spend it.
Yeah. And that's another thing that leads us on to, if someone has lack of or little or no money, where would they start? Where would you say to start? If that is the case, if they're starting from ground zero, they're living hand to mouth now, where do they start to say, all right, I need to make a change in my behavior, building out that business? What would you say to that?
I think the first thing first, I mean, obviously, I'm assuming that they would have looked at their income and their expenses, and they kind of know, what comes in and what doesn't come in and all that. And once they've done that exercise, it's really important that whatever comes in, they divide it. It doesn't matter how small. If £10 is coming in on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis, they divide it into 3. 20%, for themselves. Put 50%, for the essentials, so bills and all that, and then put the other 20% on savings or investments. That's, have that kind of split in your head.
That's right.
Really, really important, and then don't spend, and this is hard. This is really, really hard. And I know some people are going to be kicking me and all that, but don't spend more than you earn. Try your best.
Yeah.
I know you might be paying off your credit cards. You might be, you might be sorting out debts and stuff like that. But when you're now stable, always make sure you spend less than you earn. Yeah. Warren Buffett talks about it all the time. And Warren Buffett, if he's doing it, we need to listen, Yeah. And then another thing is start, there's so many things you can think about what you can do easily. What are things that people ask you to do? Is it to cook? Is it to do hair? Is it to walk dogs? Well, I don't know. Is it to draw? What is that thing that you do that you would do for free without even thinking twice?
Yeah.
Once you've been able to identify what that is, go on to Fiverr. It's so easy. Go to Fiverr quietly and be selling that service.
Yeah.
Sell that service and be consistent. Have a spirit of excellence. Because there are so many people. It's a crowded world.
Of course it is.
But if you are consistent, if your yes is your yes, if you have a spirit of excellence, you will be able to carve out a niche for yourself. You might not even know what your niche is. You'll be able to carve out a niche, carve out some customers for yourself. And that's a nice little earner on the side. A nice little earner on the side. Another thing is I always talk about the vending machines. Vending machines are nice little earners that people keep forgetting.
Yeah.
If you're and cash points, yes. Yeah. If you can find where a gap where there isn't a cash point, get one in. It's not as expensive as you think it is, and if it means you pulling money together with family members and all that, with a contract, so you know what the profit there is.
Make sure you got the contract.
With a contract, or with a group of friends, put your money together, get a cash point, get a vending machine. It's a nice little earner because people will always go to the cash point.
True.
People always use vending machines. People are always angry when there's no vending machine in the hospital. You go to the hospital, you want to buy something, and tell you want to buy a bottle of Coke, it's £2.50. Yeah. But if you go to the vending machine, you can get it for £1 or one, and you're making your money. In churches, in mosques, these are nice little earners where you can make little bits of money. Yeah. Little bits of money, never feel my boss, this was years ago when I was practicing, when I first came out of law school in Nigeria, my boss at the time used to say to me, Zina, you have to stoop to conquer.
True.
And you really do. If you want to conquer, you have to stoop. You can't, stoop and conquer. Have have a plan. Be intentional about that plan.
Absolutely.
Don't let anyone die, know what you're doing, know why you're doing everything that you do. Don't just do things for doing sake.
Yeah.
Don't just
it's a waste of time as well. Not only it's a waste of time doing that.
Don't just go out your house, you're going out your house, you don't have a plan. I don't take calls. I'm one of the most friendliest of people that you can even meet. But I don't just I don't take calls. Because I need, unless you've sent me a WhatsApp message, I need to know why I'm having that phone call.
True.
Because I know I like talking. I'm very fun. We can talk for an hour and a half and I have not made any money. That don't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
I need to either be making money or planning to make money, or it needs to be something that is, generational in mind. There has to be something, there has to be, and it's not always about money, but it has to be a purpose, a method for that interaction,
Yeah, definitely. You have shared such fantastic insights. How can our listeners get in contact with you and learn more about your services that you offer?
Well, you can find me on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way. And you can go to Dr. Zina. In fact, this is going to be funny because I change it all the time. We're talking about change. So,
all right. So that's Dr. Zina. BALA_TV. And don't forget all of Dr. Zina's reachable contacts. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn will be shared in our show notes. And we'll be putting that out promotion so you can get hold of her that way. Do you have anything else to share with our listeners before we go?
Yes, I do. I mean, at this time, this is a time where I like to call it the new normal. I don't like the word new normal, but this is a new dispensation. Even as we speak, things are happening in our world. We're just kind of getting out of the pandemic. There are wars going on. So also, the world as we know it is changing. So we need to change with it. If you are in a 9-to-5, I'm not asking you to leave, but I'm asking you to think about how you can really leverage the skills and passion and your dreams to start to think about how you can set up a business.
True.
So if you want to know, Sophia will give you my details. I have courses that I run every 3 months, and it's called, how to move from 9 to 5. Simple.
Yeah.
Set up your business in 90 days. And, I will help you set up your business in 90 days to set up. And then it's up to you to start being consistent to actually, make the money that you need to make. Also, in terms of relationships, if you have gone through a divorce or you're going through a divorce or or you're thinking about going through a divorce, one of my skill sets, one of my passions is that I'm a divorce recovery coach. So please do get in contact. I will show you, teach you, walk with you on how you can move from we to me as smoothly as possible with as minimal pain as possible and minimal damage to your purse. Speak to a lawyer. It's important to speak to a lawyer, but you need to be wise when you're having these conversations. Don't speak to your lawyer with tears because it's going to cost you. You need to, speak to me. I will set you up, guide you, show you what you need to do, and coach you so that you be a better version of yourself and you be ready to make what you need to do in, make your way in society. I want to, you can talk to me and we can talk about that later on. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in and making sure that you check out Dr. Zina's links that I'm going to be sharing with you. This was a fantastic and very interesting interview. Thank you for being here in the show. It's been absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you for watching and listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, rate us, review us, and like us. Thank you again for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've laughed today, and you shared a wealth of information. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Thank you for having me. It's been such a blast. Time goes really fast when you're having fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
This week's episode of the Savvy Property Investors Podcast was brought to you by our sponsor, the Savvy Women Group. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's show, head over to our website, www.savvywomen.co.uk, to gain access to our free resources and more insights about our guest speaker today. Remember, we make your business our business so you can unlock your full potential and improve your quality of life.